Welcome to Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston, PhD. Glenn has held his doctorate in psychology for more than 30 years and is also a former multi-million-dollar consultant to the big food industry and uses his experience to help you defeat your cravings. This show will help you to focus on dramatically reducing cravings and leave the diet mentality behind, so you can more easily and effortlessly achieve your health, fitness, and body composition goals. Please remember, no doctor-patient relationship is created via this show, and you are responsible for confirming any changes to your diet, health, or psychological routines with an appropriately licensed professional before implementing them. Now, before we get started, if you haven't yet downloaded the free smartphone app to access dozens of these recordings all in one place, as well as to avail yourself of a confidential community for support, motivation, and assistance, please visit the podcast link on defeatyourcravings.com as soon as possible. And now, here's your host, Dr. Glenn Livingston.
Hey, it's the very good Dr. Glenn Livingston here with a very kind woman named Nicole who's agreed to share her session with you so you might benefit from her experience and strength and hope and wisdom and observations, as well as her trials and stumbles and pitfalls and falls. Right, Nicole?
Yes.
Give me a little bit about your story. And I think you've been struggling a little lately, right? Or a lot?
Yes, I have as of recently, yes. So to begin my story, I have been struggling with binge eating probably since around 2014, 2015. I've just kind of noticed that it's been progressing over that period of time, and I've noticed that it's become a habit, and I would do fine for a while. Basically, I have been yo-yo dieting since then, and I have been caught up in the binge restrict mode since then. And I found out just browsing through iTunes and whatnot. So I started listening and I really found everything so helpful. And it took me a while to actually join the intensive because I thought that I would be able to do it on my own, but I didn't. And I finally joined in January. And it's been such a great experience so far. I've learned so much. Since January, since joining, I used to be a 3 to 4 time a week binger. And when I joined, I didn't binge for like a month or two. And I felt great. It was amazing. And I didn't think that refutations would help me so much, but they did. And I am forever grateful for you and for the program and for Elise, my coach, because she has been amazing in this whole entire process.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
Could I ask you a couple of follow-up questions about what you're saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Where are you now with the binging? It sounds like it's maybe less frequent or less severe, but you're still struggling with it. And I also want to know what it was like to be yo-yo dieting for all those years.
Okay. I went from a 3 to 4 time a week binger, and they were big binges. I have been an all or nothing type of girl, and one bite was never enough for me. It was like I gave the pig an inch, and it definitely took a mile. And not only did it take a mile, it took 10 miles. And I would feel good for 20 minutes, but then I would feel terrible for days on end. And then the next question was with the yo-yo dieting. I mean, I basically have lost the same 10-ish pounds since 2014. Basically, when things are good, things are great. I feel good. I have a good mindset. When things are well, I am very disciplined. I am very habit oriented. I love routine. I strive on a routine. But when I fall off the wagon, so to speak, my world falls apart. The anchors that I've developed and have leaned on for when I'm well, I don't know where they are when I'm struggling.
How often do you fall off the wagon?
As of late, I feel like maybe once a month or so. Since joining the intensive, I was great for the 6 weeks. The daily accountability has really kept me going and strong. And then when it started to go every couple of days, I'm not sure. I feel like something happened personally that basically shook my core, and everything that I have worked so hard to build against myself, I felt like everything was pulled out from underneath me.
I'm so sorry.
That is Yeah, that is where I started struggling with it. And then that was when I initially reached out to you because my dad was ill and he needed a lot of help. I come from a family that struggles with a lot of addiction. And we've never really talked about anything as a family. We've always brushed things under the rug. So these are the type of coping mechanisms I've developed as I've gotten older. So my dad was ill, and everything that I had worked up just fell apart. And that's where my old habits came back in. The pig started squealing really loudly.
So did you go back to binging 3 or 4 times a week?
I had one binge, and then I was able to get back on track the next day, which was awesome because that usually wasn't the case beforehand. It would take me like 3 days to get back on track before. And then I was good for maybe about a week and a half to 2 weeks. And then I fell off again. I had another 2 days of binging, and then I got back on track. And then another couple of days went by. And then on Monday and Tuesday, it was basically a day and a half pig fest, basically, for me.
So you've had 3 short periods of binging since your dad fell ill?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. And you have more capacity to recover than you did before, but you're still struggling.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Well, tell me how I can help.
I have a list of things that I wanted to kind of discuss with you beforehand. I know that my pig squeals get to me at a certain time of day. I do really well with the morning routines. My morning routine is rock solid. The pig is very, very quiet in the mornings, but then I start to get a little snacky in the afternoons and things like that. For the most part, I have been pretty good with refuting them.
What are your rules?
My one simple rule started off with 3 meals. I abide by a calorie budget and I plan my meals. So basically, 3 meals.
3 meals a day, calorie budget. Do you have to eat exactly what you planned, or do you plan for the sake of just thinking it through and then you can make some substitutions?
For the most part, I find that I do best with pre-planning my meals and sticking to it. That has given me such freedom of mind and I feel good. So basically, when I feel good, I feel great. I'm on point and I feel like I can conquer the world. Where I struggle is in real time when something is there, when the pig is squealing really loud, I have a really hard time refuting right then and there at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is the squeal at the time of day? In the afternoon, your pig starts squealing for you to break the plan, but what does it say?
Come on, just have one bite. You have been doing so well so far. Like, what's one bite going to do? You can't possibly stay on track for so long. Eventually, I'm going to get you and you're going to give in. This isn't working for you. You're not strong enough. You can't follow this food rule forever. There's going to be a time where you're going to eventually break your rules and binge. So it might as well be now.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. So tell me what your other issues were.
I remember in the beginning of when we were doing the 6-week mastery program, and we had the goal trajectory of where we wanted to be weight wise. And I was really on track with that. I have also been feeling really discouraged because these binges have set me back. By this time, I'm supposed to be at a certain weight, but then I'm not there. So I feel really discouraged about that. So I feel like the pig is squealing to me, like, you might as well give up. You're never going to get there. You've been here before and you can't get past this certain weight. So you might as well just give up because it's not working for you. That's another squeal that's coming a lot.
You're at an unsolvable sticking point.
Correct.
Okay. And so you might as well just give up.
Correct. And then another squeal that comes up to me is, you're doing so well. You've lost weight. You can have a free day because one day isn't going to do anything. And I definitely know that that's a big fat squeal because one day can do a lot of damage. It does days worth of damage to me, not only physically, but psychologically. So in the past couple of days and weeks, I have refuted that immensely and intensely. Those support calls have been amazing.
Good.
Thus far. They're so helpful.
We'll talk about how you refute all these things in a little bit. Are there any other squeals or issues that are bothering you?
I think those are the ones pretty much it. I mean, I feel like I'm working hard on my all or nothing mentality, but that is where I feel like I mess up the most.
Because the pig
Yeah.
says you've fallen into some black hole where you can't control your ability to eat anything, and then everything is fair game for a while.
Yes. Yes. Everything doesn't count. Just fill your pie hole and we'll deal with it later on.
Aren't there some squeals about what you're going through with your dad?
Oh, yes. I've been an emotional wreck. There's no effective way to deal with your emotions right now. The only way that you've done it in the past was to eat to feel better. I know that that doesn't work at all because it doesn't make me feel better. It actually makes me feel worse and it doesn't solve any issues that I have or make my feelings about my dad feel any better.
Yeah. And so you're confident in your food plan right now?
I feel really good when I do that. However, looking at my food plan, there's been a little bit of areas where I can definitely tighten them up a little bit, but then I also don't want to make it too complicated, but I also don't want to leave any room for indecisiveness because I've noticed that being indecisive or finding a loophole or anything like that will definitely get my pig to squeal louder. And then that's where I mess up. You know what I
Do
mean?
you think it would be better to decisively loosen it up with very clear boundaries? Or do you think it's better to sit here?
I do very well with structure. I feel very secure in knowing what I ought to do versus what I ought not to do. So I like that part of it. I
Okay.
felt like before I used to be able to eat whatever I wanted. But then I do recognize that I should probably tighten up, quote unquote, whatever I want to include sweet treats on certain days and things like that, just so that I can not have it restricted because I felt in the past restriction caused me to obsess about things. But then if I had a certain day, I feel like that would make me more successful.
Is that within the realm of possibility for your current plan, or do we need to specify it?
It is within the realm. I'm a nutritionist as well. So I'm very knowledgeable about calories and deficits and things like that. So I allot a certain one day where I have a higher calorie budget. So I could easily fit something in that I look forward to. So that's kind of how I've worked around it. But then I've also noticed that when I make things, I probably need to either share it with other people so I don't have the temptation of overeating or pre-portioning servings so that I am aware of how much I should eat instead of guesstimating.
I get it. Okay. And was this the plan you were using when you were binge free for a month and a half?
Yes, it was, which is very confusing to me because I felt like I was doing fine then, but why am I hitting a roadblock now? You know what I mean?
If you were a weightlifter, you now have more weight on the bar, mostly because of your dad, but also because you don't have the daily accountability. You could still post on the Facebook group every day if you wanted to. You could come to a support group every day if you wanted to.
I think that's a really good idea. I'm not very big on Facebook, but I might have to reopen my Facebook account just to kind of have that accountability. I do find that I do good with reaching out.
Who's the original accountability person for you? Why do you do so well with accountability?
I feel like I have somebody to prove myself to, I guess you can say. I know I should do that for myself. My husband is amazing. He's a great accountability person.
Who was the first person that you were accountable to that you had to prove things to that really worked?
The very first person,
Mhm.
Elise.
It was Elise. It wasn't your mom or your sister or someone from way back when.
Not really. I have a very dysfunctional family, to,
I
to
do
say the
too.
least.
I do too.
To say
Okay.
the least. I have
Okay.
basically been on my own since I've been a teenager.
Okay. Fair enough. It was probably a good idea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. I should have emancipated myself when I was 16 also. I did not. What would it mean to you, Nicole, to be back on track for the next month?
It would be amazing. I know I can do it. I've done this before. I don't know what I need. I feel like I need my discipline to be stronger, my willpower to be stronger. It would be amazing. I would feel great. I would be the wife and mother, friend, human I imagine myself to be. I'd feel good. in my mind, body, and spirit, I wouldn't have the crashes and the terrible feelings I feel after I binge.
Say that in the positive. You wouldn't have the crashes and the terrible feelings after the binge, but you would have.
I would have long lasting energy and vitality in everything that I do. I would feel great. I would have purpose. I would be motivation for others,
Who?
for my children, for my colleagues, for anybody else kind of struggling, going through what I've gone through. I'm also kind of getting a little bit of a epiphany here because I'm realizing that in the past couple of weeks where I've been struggling, I've really been focusing on the negative. Where just talking to you now and listening to a couple of support calls, I really should be focusing on the positives and where I want to be.
The pig doesn't want you to see that. The pig is very excited about things going badly for you because it knows
because that's how it gets what it wants.
Yes, because then it can say there's only one good thing in life. Let's go get some right now.
It's starting to make sense to me. I've just been focusing on what I don't want. It's been taking so much of my energy and it's been taking away from what I do want. And I really should shift my focus on that.
Tell me again what you do want.
I want to feel good in my body. I want to feel in control of my actions. I want to do the things that make me feel good. And that is following my food plan, eating wholesome, healthy foods in proper portions, being able to have a fun food confidently and fully enjoying the piece instead of feeling sick and crappy after. So I want to feel good. I want to feel energized. I want to feel happy. I want to enjoy being present in the moment.
Do you enjoy your husband and the kids when you're present in the moment and focus on the positive?
I do. It means the world to me. It means the world to me to be a good wife and mother.
And how long are you married?
We've been together for 20 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, it's been a journey, but we're fighting day by day.
Is your husband supportive with all this?
He is. He's amazing. He's been such a great person for me to lean on during all of this.
So you have a lot of reasons to stay on your food plan, a lot of things that you enjoy in your life. You also have a lot of pain in your life, what you're going through with your dad, maybe some other things. That's what life is. Life is not a pain-free experience, but if you're not afraid of your tears, then you get to experience more joy. If you don't bury the tears under pig slop, then you have the full capacity and your intellect and your creativity and your life energy to solve problems and make memories and enjoy what's right in front of you, right?
Yeah, totally.
Would you like to recommit right now, right here and now to?
Absolutely.
Okay. Tell me what you're recommitting to.
I'm recommitting to never binging again, focusing on feeling good in my body. And I know that following my food rules helps me feel that. So I'm recommitting to feeling healthy in the present moment.
What else do you give up in the present moment if you binge?
I think I would give up feeling good, clarity. I give up being able to be there for my family. When I'm post binge, it's like the worst hangover that I could ever feel. And I'm laid up on the couch, wallowing in my own misery. And that's time that I'm taking away from my family and my goals and the things that I want to do.
Giving up everything real life has to offer for a couple of days, right? When you binge.
Yes. Like my mindset is not right. I don't feel like I put my best foot forward. It's miserable.
Once had a client who said it was like painting herself in Crisco oil.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. Yeah. It's not fun.
What happens if you let it go on longer? What happens in 5 years, 10 years if you're letting the pig win with these squeals?
I'd be in a deep depression. I could imagine my health spiraling downward. I get the worst acid reflux, indigestion, heartburn after a binge. So I could only imagine my health deteriorating after that. I mean, all that pig slop couldn't be good for heart disease and things like that. So my health would definitely be impacted in a negative way. Not only my health, my relationships would be impacted because I'd feel so depressed to do anything fun and I wouldn't want to be social. And enjoy life. I would just be so preoccupied in myself.
Yeah. I know you've done a lot of work on the refutations. I just want to know what your refutations are for these 5 squeals. So the pig says, you can't possibly stay in this plan forever. You're not strong enough. Eventually you're going to give in. So come on and just binge now.
I can do this for the long term because this is what makes me feel good. And when I feel good, I do good for others. And I can do this again because I've done this yesterday, the day before, the month before. So this day is no different from the days before.
If you could do it for a month, you could do it for your year, right?
Yes. If I've done it before, I can do it again, and I can do it over and over again because I've shown myself that I can do this and I will do this.
The pig says just 1 bite won't hurt. What's the refutation for that?
One bite definitely hurts because if I give you an inch, you take a whole mile, and it does hurt because I know that just giving you something will make you want more. So I would just rather stick with my rules and feel comfortable.
Good. What about the squeal about your weight, that you're not losing weight fast enough and you're at an unsolvable sticking point, so you should just give up and binge now?
If I give up and binge now, it's one more day of not getting to my goal weight. I just have to keep going because if I give up, I'm never going to get where I want to be. So I just have to keep going. One day is nothing in the grand scheme of things. I'm here for the long haul. This is a lifelong thing for me, and I am committed to the long haul because I want to live a long and healthful and happy life.
So you can tell the pig, just watch me. Previously unsolvable sticking points will give way because of my determination and fortitude, my willingness to do it for the long run.
Totally.
Then the pig says, you're doing so well and you have lost some weight, so you can certainly have a free day now. One day can't do too much damage. Are you noticing the pig is talking out of both sides of its mouth?
You are wrong, pig, because one day does do a lot of damage. It does days of damage, actually. Those are days that I am not willing to give because those days are unproductive. I feel terrible when I have those free days, and those free days are not free days. They take away from everything that I work hard for.
We only get so many days, right?
Yes.
We don't get to live forever.
Yeah, those free days are definitely not free days.
And those aren't days you can get back.
No.
Did you notice the pig is talking out of both sides of its mouth? On the one hand, it's saying you can't lose weight, so you should binge. And on the other hand, it's saying you lost weight, so you should binge.
Now that you bring that up, it's a sneaky little thing.
But it's pretty pathetic when you look at what it's saying, right?
Yeah, it's like you can never win with that guy. It's like it's just trying its best to get to you. And it's,
yeah, and it doesn't care what lies it tells you.
No, and I know that I know better than that. And I need to honor myself, and I need to show myself self-love and self-care and stop giving my power away.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Wow, that's crazy. It's different talking through with somebody.
Yes.
About this.
That's why coaching makes sense. You can see things you can't see on your own. Pig says you have an all or nothing mentality and you always will. And therefore, the moment you make a tiny little mistake, you're going to go off the rails. You might as well just do it now.
That's a hard one for me. I feel like I've refuted this before, but then I feel like it's not a strong enough refutation for me to overcome this particular squeal. I remember hearing in one of the support calls that I aim for perfection, but forgiving myself with dignity is a hard one for me.
How come?
I feel like I just get really hard on myself. The pig is just saying, see, this is why you can't commit. This is why you should give up and binge because you already messed up.
So it's saying that because you're not perfect, you should just binge all the time.
Yes.
And it says because you're not perfect, you should never harness the energy of perfectionism when you're aiming at the bullseye. You shouldn't commit with perfection because you know you're going to make a mistake. So just don't do that. Do you know why that's a problem?
Tell me.
Because it creates uncertainty and doubt as you're aiming at the target.
Yes, and that's where it starts to get into my head for sure.
It gets into your head and it drains your energy. It distracts you from accomplishing the goal.
Yes.
The psychology of winners is to purge their mind of that uncertainty. to see the arrow going into the bullseye before they let it loose. Talk to real sports performers. They can all see the goal with crystal clarity when they're aiming at it. And they all have a way of purging their mind of that doubt and uncertainty. Doubt and uncertainty are like psychological cancer when you are aiming at a goal.
Yeah.
It's okay to lie to the pig. The pig has lied to you forever, because in any other scenario, you're revealing a weakness to the pig, and it's just going to keep gnawing at that weakness until it gets you.
I see.
That's why we aim at the bullseye with perfection. That's why we present our food plan to the pig as if it were set in stone, as if there were no possible way to change it. Because it needs to think that it's forever, and it needs to know that we have the ability to make that perfect aim. That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
So
then
I
if,
have to train my mind to think that I can do this and I will. And I have to be certain that I will.
yes, you have to claim your birthright of control over your eating. You have to let go of hope and praying and kind of wishing that it would all come together. And you have to claim it and declare that this is what you're going to do with perfection. And if you
Makes
make a
sense.
mistake, most Olympic archers only hit the bullseye 30 to 40% of the time. They come very, very close most of the time. But when you do make a mistake, you look to see where the arrow landed and you utilize all of that feedback. Say, okay, well, I guess I wasn't perfect. I thought I was aiming with perfection and I'm going to do that again, but I guess I wasn't perfect. What can I learn from that? By how much did I miss the
Yeah.
target? In what direction? And how do I make that adjustment?
Yeah.
Sometimes the adjustment is to move the target. Sometimes it's to widen the target. Sometimes it's to change the target. Sometimes it's just to look very specifically at how the pig talked you out of aiming correctly.
Yeah. And I think that's what I've been doing the past couple of days. I've been looking at where things have gone wrong, and I've created more guidelines, I guess you can say, so that when it happens again, I have a better picture of how I would go about it.
Yeah. Ask yourself what you can learn.
Yeah.
What did the pig say? How did it convince you? What's the best refutation? How are you going to remember the refutation? You need to carry it with you and repeat it a couple of times a day for a while. You get up and aim again.
Yeah. One of the most recent ones that really stuck with me was growing up. Like I said before, I had a very dysfunctional family and upbringing and things like that. And we never really talked about any problems. And whenever we had uncomfortable situations, we would just avoid it or escape it. And I've learned that I don't like feeling uncomfortable. So one of the most recent revelations that I've had was I would escape that discomfort by eating because that would make me feel better. But it didn't make me feel better. And one of the refutations that I came up with through the support group was I'm willing to feel all of the uncomfort and the negative emotions for as long as I need to, because this is better than binging and the emotion will eventually pass. That was really powerful for me.
Perfect. That's beautiful. You tell your pig that you are willing to feel any level of emotional discomfort rather than feed it pig slop. Any level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I harp on the notion of perfectionism again? Because there's another point
Yes,
that the
please.
pig doesn't want us to see. Okay. So the pig will say, this is ridiculous. You can't use perfectionism when you're aiming and then let go of it when you're analyzing things. There's no way you can switch like that.
Mm-hmm.
But do you know the pig switches how it uses perfectionism also?
How?
We want to commit with perfection, aiming at the bullseye, and forgive ourselves with dignity so we can learn everything we can and get better and better. The pig wants to switch in just the opposite way. It wants you to aim without perfection. It wants you to just say, oh, progress, not perfection. I'll do the best I can.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you screw up, it's going to say, if you're not perfect, you're nothing, you're pathetic. You might as well just go binge, 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 binge. So then it will say perfectionism is really true. It'll use it after the mistake to make you feel horrible, so you'll binge more. But before the mistake, it'll tell you that perfectionism is silly and you should let go and just aim for progress.
Yeah.
So the pig switches. Why can't we switch? We'll just do it in the opposite way.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Make sense?
Totally. What a psychological devil that pig is.
What a mind effort that little thing is.
Yes.
Right?
It tries to get you in any way it can. And I feel so much better about this whole all or nothing perfectionist mindset with that insight. It makes so much sense.
Good. The last one, I think you've refuted already. You said you've been an emotional wreck, and the only way to deal with these emotions is to binge.
I'm willing to feel all of the discomfort, all of the emotions. This will eventually pass. I'll come out stronger, and binging is not going to solve any problems. It actually leaves me worse off with additional problems.
Well, how confident are you that you're not going to binge in the next 30 days?
I'm very confident.
How
I
confident?
can do this. 100% confident. I just needed that little pick me up and some insight and clarity. And I now have a plan that is unshakable. And I know that I can get through anything.
Good. Terrific. Would you be willing to do a 25-minute follow-up with me in 30 days?
Yeah, for sure.
Nicole, I'm proud
25
of you.
days.
I look forward to talking to you then.
Thanks so much, Glenn. I mean, I've said to you before, I'm so glad that I made this decision. It's been a life-changing decision, and it feels good to be back on track. And I feel stronger than ever.
You're doing great. You're doing
Thank
terrific.
you.
Okay. I'll
Thank
talk to
you.
you then, okay?
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that brings us to the end of today's broadcast of Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the products and services Dr. Glenn offers to help you dramatically reduce your cravings and stop overeating in 90 days or less, please visit defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. That's defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. Thanks.